Join clause is used to combine the rows from two or more tables based on a related column between them. Join tables have all the records from both the table. It will take the tuples from both the tables, and if we don't have or if no match is found, then it will going to put null in the place of that no match is found. A view can either have a specific rows based on certain condition or all the rows of a table. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. Welcome back to the session 2 of chapter 2 in the unit 2 of B.Ca's third semester subject called Database Management System. As you all know that in the chapter 2 we are dealing with this relational algebra. Before getting into our today's session, we'll just have a quick recap of our previous session. As we all know that in the last session of this unit, we had a discussion regarding what is relational algebra, and also we had a discussion regarding what are the basic relational algebraic operation that we have. Along with that, we had a discussion regarding set theoretical operations on the relation. So in our today's session, we are going to discuss regarding this join clause in Dbms, and also I will be discussing what do you mean by this aggregate functions, what are the aggregate functions we have. At last, I will be discussing what is views in SQL and what are its advantages, how we are going to create that views. That is what I will be discussing. Let me get into the first one, that is regarding join. So till now we have learned regarding some of the algebraic operations on the relation. In the there we have learned regarding set operation and also some of the basic or fundamental relational operation. So now we are going to understand what is this join. So here you have a definition of join. Join clause is used to combine the rows from two or more tables based on a related column between them. So what we are doing here, we are combining the tuples. We are taking the records array rows from two different tables based on the column, based on the domain or based on the criteria of an attribute. We are selecting the rows from a multiple table. Then we are going to use this join clause. So it's a binary operation which allows you to combine join product and selection in one single statement. Already you all have know about this selection and projection operation. So by making use of this product and selection operation, we are combining it together in order to work with this join operation. The main goal of creating a join condition is that it helps you to combine the data from two or more Dbms table, and also it will going to be associated using the primary key and foreign key. How do we establish a relationship between the two different tables? That is with the help of primary key and foreign key. With the help of this, we are using it. Fine. We'll have the types of SQL join here. That includes inner join, left outer join, right outer join, and also we have a full join, full outer join. That is what the types of SQL join here. In that, in order to understand all these different types of joins, here I have an example. I have a table called employee. How many columns do I have in this employee table? You can see it. We have a employee ID, employee name, city, salary and age. So these are the 5 columns which we have in the employee table. Have a look on the number of tuples and its value. Okay, totally we have 6 tuples here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are the employee ID along with the employee name, city, salary and age. I have one more table. That is what the table name is project here. What is the project column consist of, or what project table consist of? It has a project number, employee ID and department. If you see this, project table and employee table, which is the common column we have. So we have a column called employee ID which exists both in the employee table as well as in the product table. So based on this employee ID, we are going to fetch the rows or tuples from one or more table. For that we require this join. Next we'll go with this inner join. What about this inner join? So it will going to select the records. Record means what? Tuples or a rows that have matching values in both the tables. Inner join in the sense what? That is taking the common values from both the tables as long as the condition is satisfied. We are going to use a condition as a column. If the condition satisfied, then it will going to fetch the matching value from the table 1 as well as from the table 2. So it will going to return the combination of all the rows from the both of the table where the condition satisfied. Based on the condition, it will fetch the rows or tuples from table 1 as well as table 2. Understand, here we are using inner join. I have a table 1 and table 2. As you all know that in the mathematical notation, we are going to use it in order to get the intersection. That means what? Only matching record or matching values in both the table will be written as a output. Here you can see the syntax for this. Select table 1 dot column 1. So based on some criteria, or we are fetching some of the column value, comma table 1 dot column 2. You can have any number of column that you want to fetch from table 1. From which table I am fetching the column name? From the table 1. So use dot operator in order to fetch the column. Then we are using a keyword called inner join. After that, table 2. I am adding the table 1 column with table 2 on what basis? On table 1 dot matching column is equal to table 2 dot matching column. The column which we have same or which we have in both the table. That column, based on that column, we are retrieving the number of column from the table 1 and the matching column from the table 2. So that is what we are doing in the inner join. Then we'll see one of the query here. Select employee dot employee name. Go back to the example. I have a table name called employee. From that employee, we are fetching the employee name column, comma, project dot department. Then in the table 2 called project, this is table 2, this is table 1. From the table 1, I am fetching the employee name column, and from the table 2, that is project, from that we are fetching the department column. From employee inner join project. So we are using table employee as well as project in the inner join. On what basis I am taking this employee name and department? On project dot employee ID is equal to employee dot employee ID. The column called employee ID in both the tables which we have a matching, then that name, employee name and department has to be written as a output. Fine. We'll see the output here. So we did a inner join, employee name and department. This is what the column we are looking for. On what basis we are fetching it? The employee ID which is there in project, the employee ID which is there in employee, only that ID's name and department that we are fetching. Fine. That is what the output here. So employee name and department. Let me go back to the tables, then you will be able to understand. See, in the employee ID, we are taking employee name. Okay, consider, and in this we are taking department. The employee ID present in both the table, project and employee is 1, 2, 3, 4, and also we have 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the name of employee name in the employee ID? Angelina, Robert, Christian and Christine. So these are the employee name, and the department is testing, development, designing and development. This is what we are going to get it as a output here. Fine. Then what about this left join? As the name indicates, we are giving more weightage to the left table, that is the first table. If it is a right join, second table. Okay. The SQL left join returns all the values from the left table and the matching values from the right table. We have two tables here. Table 1, table 2. Table 1 is left table, table 2 is right table. Though we are going to fetch all the values from the left table, and the values which is going to be matched with the right table, only that will be taken here. If there is no matching, then it will going to return null. Fine. Then we are taking all the content of table 1 and only the matching content of table 2 that we are taking here. We'll see the syntax here. This is same as the previous one. Select table 1 dot column 1, table 1 dot column 2. From table 1, left join table 2. So here we are fetching the column from tables and we are merging, or we are using left join with the table 1 and table 2 on table 1 dot matching column, table 2 dot matching column. Same one, and we have the left join clause here. Then what will be the output here? You can see I am taking the employee name and we are taking department from the project. the value which is there in the employee table, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, but this 5 and 6 does not exist in the project. So whatever will be the output for this one, Angelina, Robert, Christian, and Russell, Mary, for these two values it will going to return null. Why? Because these two value does not exist in the table 2. So it will going to return all the content from a table 1 and it will going to return the matching value from table 2. If that matching value does not found, then it will going to return null here. Then which is opposite to this one, that is right join. So it will going to return the content, all the values from the rows of right table, but whatever the matching we have in the left table or the table 1, that will going to be written here for the right join. So if there is no matching, again same, it will also going to return null. For right join, we have a table A and table B. It will going to return all the content from a right table and only the matching value from this table left. So what will be the syntax? Same as the previous one, and here we are going to use a keyword right join. Then what will be the example? Same, we are fetching the employee name and department from the employee and project respectively based on the employee ID which we have in both project and employee. So here we have to take the right join here. So the left table will be employee, right table will be project. So then what will be the output for this? It will going to return 1, 2, 3, 4. Whom we have in 1, 2, 3, 4? That is Angelina, Robert, Christian and Christine. It won't bother regarding this Russell and Mary. So it will be, the output will be like this. Fine. This is what? Right join. Then what about this full join? So full join is what? Inner join only the matching content. Left join all the content of left table along with the matching content of right table. Right join all the content of right table and matching content of left table. Then what about this full join? This will going to join the result or combination of both the left and right outer join. It will going to take both the values from left table as well as from the right table. So here join tables have all the records from both the table. It will take the tuples from both the tables, and if we don't have or if no match is found, then it will going to put null in the place of that no match is found. You can see the diagrammatic notation of this full join, table A and table B. So here I am not taking a common, we are taking all the values together. Syntax is same, but here we have to use full join, and I am using a same query here. We are using full join on the project and employee, and the basis of employee ID that should be present in both project and employee. Then it will be like this. We didn't found any match of Russell and Mary in the project table. That's why it's written as null. Okay. This is how we are going to get the output for this full join. I hope you all understood regarding this. Join class. We'll go to the next one, that is regarding aggregate functions. Aggregate, as the name indicates, it will going to take set of values as an input and it will going to produce us only one value as an output. That is what aggregate function. It is used to perform the calculation on multiple rows of a single column. I have a column. From that column only we are taking multiple rows or multiple values. Then we are performing some of the calculation. Then it will going to return a single value as an output. So mainly it is used to summarize the data. Then what are the types of aggregate functions we have here? And we are going to use this aggregate function with a order by clause or order by statement. Then what are the different aggregate functions we have here? There which we have average, AVG. The function whatever we have should be written like this only. Don't write AVE. RAGE, that is not the function. Average we have AVG, that will going to calculate the average of set of values. Then what about this count? That returns the count of rows. It will going to fetch the number of rows in a particular column, and then we have a sum. As the name indicate, it will going to add up all the values of a particular column. Then max, that will going to return a maximum value from that particular column. Then minimum is just a reverse of it. That is what it will gives the minimum value of that particular column. We'll see each of the function one by one. First we have a count function here. Instead of this, you can also write like this, count function. Then here, count function is used to count the number of rows in a database table. It will going to fetch the number of rows from a particular column here. It can work on both numeric and non-numeric data type. It need not to be only numbers. So it can be any data values. So for that also, we can use this count function. And also, it will going, for example, if you are using count of function, within that if I am writing star, that indicates all the column, so that will going to returns the count of all the rows in a specified table. That means we are fetching the value from all the column. For that we are going to use this stars. But what is the disadvantage of it? It will going to consider the duplicate as well as the null values in order to return the number of rows. It will returns the total number of records in a particular table. Then if you take the example, so consider the table called product master here. There we have a product, company, quantity, rate and cost. So how many rows we have? Totally we have 10 rows here. Then how can I get to know it? With the help of count function, we can have it. So here we have a syntax, count, select count of star from product master. Then what it will going to return? How many rows we have? So totally we have 10 rows. That will be the output here. Then can we use count with where condition? Yes, we can use. Then how to use it? We'll see. Select count of star from product master where rate greater than or equal to 20. So here I have a column called rate. I am fetching the rows only their rate should be greater than or equal to 20. How many rows we have then? Is 10 is lesser than greater than 20? No. Then 25, 30 and 20, 25, 30, 25, 30. How many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it will going to return 7 as a answer. That means 7 rows will going to be returned here. Then count with distinct. Distinct in the sense what? That should be unique. So select count of distinct company from product master. Again I have a column called company. Then I require a distinct company name. So here company 1, company 2, company 3 we have. If we found this is not distinct. Why? Because I have a duplication. So it will return only company 1, company 2 and company 3. So these are the 3 distinct company names. Fine, we'll move to the next function, that is sum function. So sum is used to what? Used to calculate the sum of all the selected columns. It works on a numeric field only. It will going to sum of all the values of a particular column. So you can use the sum function and sum of all are distinct expression. So we have one example here. Select sum of cost from product master. So you can see the example here. Sum of cost. So if you sum of all the values 20 plus 75 plus 60 like this, if you sum up all these values, then what will be the value? The output will be 670. Same way, we can also use this sum with where clause. That means I can give a condition in order to sum up the rows value. Select sum of cost from product master where quantity is greater than 3, not even 3. That is should be greater than 3. If you consider this example, so here this 50 to be added and this 150, so 200, after this 4, that is 200 plus 120. What will be the output for this? Totally it will be 320. This is what we are going to get. Then what about the next one? Average function. This is used to calculate the average value of the numeric type. So here also it will going to take only the numeric value. It returns the average of all the non-null values also. The syntax will be average. So select average of cost. Already we know the sum of cost, that is 670, correct? And the number of product we have is, number of item we have is 10. Then we are going to find, we are going to get the average as 67. That is what the output from this product master table. Fine. Then we have a maximum function here. As the name indicates, it is used to find the maximum value of a certain column. What is the maximum value present in that particular column? That will be written. So it determines the largest value of all the selected values of a column. Then how will be the syntax? Max of, we have to send a column name. Select max of rate from product master. If you see this example, which is the maximum rate from this column, you can found it, that is 30. 30 is the maximum rate. And if you write the same query with quantity, then which will be the maximum value? That is 4. That will going to be written as a 30 here. Then what about minimum function? This is used to find the minimum value of a column, and this will going to determine the smallest value of all the selected value of a column. Then how we are going to write a query for it? Select min of rate. I am finding the minimum of a rate from the product master table. So here we have a different rate. Maximum will be 30 and minimum is 10. That will going to be written as a output for this minimum function. I hope you all understood regarding this aggregate function. We'll see the next concept, that is views in SQL. Why do we require these views? Just let me give you an example here. Consider I have a table called A and B. In the table A, I have 3 columns, namely C1, C2 and C3. And in this column, in this table B, I have only 2 columns, B1 and B2. Okay. So we have 2 tables A and B, and in the table A, I have 3 columns called C1, C2, C3. In the table 2, that is B, we have B1, B2 as the 2 columns. Instead of having this separately or this one separately, I wanted to take a column C1 from A table and I wanted to take a column B1 from B table. That is what I wanted to have it as a new table called C. So in this, I will take C1 from A and B1 from B. This is what we have to do. So when you want to join the number of columns, when you wanted to have both the rows and column from multiple tables, then we require this view. As the name indicates, view is not a physical table, it's a virtual table. So it's considered as a virtual table, and view can also contain rows and columns. If you are creating a table, obviously it must have a rows as well as the columns. And in order to create a view, we can select the fields from one or more table which is present in the database. We can create a view from a single table by taking multiple columns, and also we can take the columns from multiple tables as well. So a view can either have a specific rows based on certain condition or all the rows of a table. So here, whatever the number of rows we have in the A table, I can have all the rows, or else based on certain condition, I can have a specific rows. That is what we can do in the views. Then consider the example. Here I have 2 tables. One is student details and another one is student marks. So in the student details table, I have student ID, name and address. So these are the 3 columns of the student details, and we have a student marks. That is one more table. There I have student ID, name, marks as well as age. So these are the 4 columns. Whenever we have this view, you can use the columns of one or more table in order to create it. So now we'll see how do we create a view. So it can be created by making use of a create view keyword or a statement, and we can create a view from single table as well as multiple tables. So we'll see the syntax as we create for a table. Create table, table name. Same way, create view, view name. So I'm creating a view called view name, as we are renaming it. From where and all we are selecting it? From single table or from a multiple table, that we have to mention. View name as select column 1, column 2 up to column n from table name. So or else if you wanted to have all the columns, all the rows, you can use it. Based on certain condition, if you wanted to have a specific rows, then we have to use this where condition. Fine. Then here you can see how can we create a view from a single table. So see the query here, create view, details view. I am creating a view called details view as select name, address from student details. Already you know we have a student details. So in this I am taking only name and address. Fine. Name and address where student ID less than 4. Based on what condition I am taking? Based on the condition their student ID should be lesser than 4, not even 4, lesser than that, 1, 2, 3. Those student ID is 1, 2, 3. Only those students' names and address will be taken. So, if we print this, select star from details view. That means I am taking all the columns, that is name and address. How will be the output? Name and address. So, these are the student whose student ID is lesser than 4. See the example, student ID 1, 2, 3. So, their name Stephen, Catherine and David. So, these are the student name and their address will going to be collected from here and it will going to be displayed as a new output. Next, what we do, we can create a view from multiple table. Instead of taking a column from a single table, we can also create a view from multiple table. How can we do that? That is, can be created by including the multiple tables in the select statement. And then here you can see I am going to have a student details and student marks and we are creating a marks view virtual table. Consider the query here, create view marks view. We are creating a virtual table called marks view as select student details dot name. Use dot operator whenever you are selecting a column from multiple table. If you are selecting a column from a same table, then no need to use dot operator. But if you are taking a multiple column from multiple table, then use this dot operator. Why? Because you need to specify this column belongs to which table. For that reason, you have to mention here from the student details, I am taking a column name and from the student detail, I am taking one more column address and student marks. From the student marks table, I am taking a marks from student details, comma student marks, and I have a condition where student details dot name is equal to student marks dot name. The name which is present in both the table called student details and student marks. From that table, I am fetching the name, their address and their marks. Okay, and if you wanted to display, select star from marks view. Marks view is what? The new view name. So then how will be the output? Name, address and marks. Name and address are the columns of student detail and this marks is a column of marks detail. So that the name which is present in both the table, only those rows will going to be selected here. This is how can we create a view from multiple table. Then what if you wanted to delete a view? That is what we done for a table. That is what we are going to use a drop command here. So it can be deleted using drop view statement. Then how do we write it? When it comes to the syntax, drop view and we have to specify view name. Then what if I wanted to delete this virtual table called marks view? Then I have to write drop view marks view. Then this won't be exist in the database. This is how we are going to delete a view from database. Next, here we have a uses of view. Now you got to know what is view, how do we create view and how we are going to delete a view. Then what are its uses and advantages? First, we have restricting data access. That means you can expect table security here by restricting the access to the predetermined set of rows and columns of a table. This will going to provide one additional level of table security whenever we have this view. Then hiding data complexity. So here you won't get to know the existence of a complexity. For example, I have 50 columns in one table, 40 columns in another table. But whichever the column is necessary, that is what I am fetching and making it as a one view. So it will going to reduce as a complexity and it will hide the data complexity. So it can hide the complexity that exists in a multiple table join. Then it will simplify the commands for the user. Though you don't know how to use join or how to write a query for join, if we are using this view concept, then it will be easy in order to write the queries. So for the user, it will be easy way of merging the columns and tables. So next it will store the complex queries. So view can be used to store the complex queries. As I take an example of 50 and 40 columns, if you wanted to make it simply a simple one, then you can have this views concept and you can rename the columns. After the resultant, you can rename it as that means renaming, alias name we can give, and multiple view facility. So different view can be created on the same table or for the different user. The column which is only necessary for the particular user, that can be created and that can be viewed by a particular user. This is what the uses of this view. I hope you all understood my today's session and we are done with our unit 2. So in my coming session, we're going to discuss regarding the unit 3. Let me meet you there. Until that, keep learning, keep on growing. Thank you.